Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by my channel and happy Friday. So this video is going to be about my journey with tattoo removal for this right here on my hand. So I'll just preface with how I came to get this tattoo on my hand. So originally had a Celtic knot with a heart in the middle on my finger, and that was from my ex-husband, and I wanted to get that covered up, and so I didn't know of good tattoo removal at the time, and so I was like, I'm gonna sleeve my whole arm out, I'll just tattoo my hand. Big mistake, because about a year or so after getting the tattoo, I was like, what have I done? I hate this, I wanna get this removed. And yeah, so at the time I was living in Tennessee, and I had found a place, I don't remember the laser that they did, or that they used, but I did not like what they had to offer. They wanted a set amount of money paid up front, or within 2 payments, and even if your tattoo was removed before you hit that cap, you didn't get your money back. And so I was like, no. And I didn't feel comfortable. I was super scared at the time. So I ended up moving to Washington in June of 2018, and I spent about 3 months doing research on different doctors in the area, different lasers. And so when I came across my doctor, he uses a PicoSure laser. My doctor uses a PicoSure laser. I can't talk. I hope I can edit this. But I was super amazed with the results that his patients had, and just how their skin looked and everything post-treatment. And so after continuing to do some more research, I was like, this doctor is the doctor that I want to do my treatments with. So initially I had a consultation with him, and the way my doctor does it is they use a sheet that has boxes on it, and they just put it to the tattoo, and it measures the areas with ink, and then they give you a price based on that. So a minimum of 4 weeks before your treatment, you can't have sun exposure. Otherwise, the treatment may not work as well. There's a lot of different reasons. There's a whole list. I'll add that to this video. So the morning of my treatment, actually the day before, I hydrated like crazy, because they say that helps with the swelling and just the initial healing. So I hydrated the day before. I had not had my hand in the sun or had any exposure. I was wearing like little fingerless gloves. I was putting sunscreen on it because I wanted the best outcome, right? And so you shave the area in multiple directions just before your treatment, just before I leave. And they warned me in the initial paperwork and everything, that treatments vary from patient to patient, and that I may not see any results or change at all in the first couple of treatments. So they told me that I should skip the numbing cream the first time around, because they want you to see how painful it is, whether you think numbing cream is worth it or not for the next time. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, let's see how bad this really hurts, right? I was gassed all the time. Like, did it hurt worse than getting the tattoo itself, right? Because it's my hand and my knuckles are tattooed, and let me tell you, it is the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. So that first treatment, you put on glasses and everything, and they always give me like one of those stress balls to squeeze, and the technician will like tap my arm to distract me, and then there's this machine that they blow cold air while the doctor's doing the laser, and that definitely helps soothe my hand and get me through the lasering. So I was shocked. I have a really high pain tolerance, and I was completely shocked at how painful it was. I was shaking. I was almost in tears. I was just like, what just happened to me? I was freaking out. So right after you get it lasered, there's what they call frosting. And so the area that was lasered, it looks white, and it like literally looks frosted. So that goes away about 20 to 30 minutes after your treatment. But for me, the blue and the purple immediately came out of the flowers, and we were all shocked. Like, that does not happen. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, like, they warned me like I might not even see like anything change. So I was super pumped that ink was like coming out just like that. So and it varies from person to person, like, you know, how stubborn the ink is and how you're taking care of it, and if you listen to them about the do's and do nots prior to your treatment. So I go a minimum of 10 weeks between my treatments. So the typical time is 8 to 12 weeks per treatment, but my doctor has patients who will come in every 6 weeks for treatment because they don't care if they have scarring or what their skin looks like after it's gone. They just want it gone as soon as possible. Well, given this is my hand, I want it to look just like this when I'm done, right? So I take all the precautions and listen to everything that they tell me. So after the first or after your treatment, there's blistering within the first 1 to 3 hours. And in the beginning, I had like little blisters, and you want to drain the blisters. You don't want the blisters to pop on their own. So I sterilized the needle at home, and my doctor said, you know, just poke little holes gently toward the bottom of the blister, and slowly, you know, with gauze, just kind of push on it a little bit, let it drain. And then you want to be able to let it breathe at home so it dries out. That helps with the healing, scabbing faster, and all that kind of stuff. But by no means do you want it to pop on its own or pick at the scabs or the skin or anything like that. So about 3-4 hours after the treatment, I'll take off that initial Aquaphor and gauze that they put on, and I'll just kind of gently wipe it off. And the way that you clean it is to just run it under some cold water. I just turn the faucet on just a little bit because you don't want a lot of water pressure, and it is very painful. So the first day or two of cleaning it, I'll just soak gauze and then just kind of like pat it, let it breathe for a couple hours while I'm at home. But part of that initial healing process is not bumping it on things, you know, letting it breathe at home, not having it constantly wrapped in gauze and everything. But your skin will start to dry out. So that's why you're supposed to wear Aquaphor and keep it wrapped and everything. For me, it's about 2.5 to 3.5 weeks. And then once your skin is back to normal, so, you know, the way that it is now, because I'm mid healing, I had a treatment in March, and my next treatment, it'll be my 7th treatment. That will be at the end of this month on May 29th. So, yeah, so I can have it just out like this and everything, but I put sunscreen on it if I'm going to be in the sun in between treatments and everything like that once it's healed. So, let me see, what other questions? Okay, so I get asked how long the lasering is done for, and for me, it's about 10 to 15 minutes of lasering. And so because I have several different colors, I've got red, black, yellow, purple, and blue and everything, the laser has to, I don't know the technical terms, but he's like doing different things to the laser settings as he's zapping different areas. I don't have any footage, I don't know if I mentioned that, of me getting lasered, because I'm always like squeezing a stress ball and like doing like deep breathing, and I just like don't want to look. It does get easier though. There's less ink to zap, you know, throughout your treatments and everything. Although this looks like, yeah, like it's still a big tattoo on my hand, there's severely less ink under the epidermis. So it's a little less painful each time, but still extremely painful. I'm just warning you. I'm not trying to scare anyone away from tattoo removal, because it's 100% worth it if you want to go through with it or get rid of it, or whatever tattoo it is. So my second treatment, I went and saw him, and I did the numbing cream, and it definitely helped a lot. I also take Tylenol or Advil just before my appointment. So he was super impressed with how I had healed that first treatment and how well I took care of it. So he decided to up the laser a little bit. And so that treatment was horrific. I had massive blistering after it. And My doctor 100%, like, he knows what he's doing. He has years of experience with this, and upping the laser settings to zap more, that is for my benefit, so that it starts to get rid of the ink more. 100% knows what he's doing. I just want to reiterate that. But it's different with every person, and it's different how your body reacts every single time. So I had a blister about the size of the flower and about this big. It was insane. I had a bunch of small blisters around it, and the blistering was so bad I didn't feel comfortable doing it at home. I also had what looked like just like blood spots and like bad scabbing right after that treatment, and I was just so shocked when I took off the gloves the first time. Like, I almost passed out. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, I feel sick looking at this. So the next morning I went back in, and he did all of the draining for me, just because it was so large I didn't feel comfortable with that. So yeah, the second treatment, the healing took a lot longer. That was probably the longest that I had to wear gauze for, and that was about a month straight. So my third treatment, that one, I didn't swell nearly as much. So typically my hand swells about that big or so. All my fingers swell. That lasts about 3 or 4 days. The swelling goes down, just feels like really heavy and not fun. But thankfully it goes away within like 3 or 4 days. But my third treatment, I was super shocked because I didn't have hardly any swelling with that one. And then treatments 4 and 5, the tattoo was being stubborn, and so I didn't see a whole lot of progress between that. And I also took a 3.5-month break, so it's about 2.5, 3.5 months of healing between each treatment. And then I stopped treatment in summer of 2019, just so that I could like go swimming and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to deal with tattoo treatments and removal and healing and all of that in the summertime last year. So in total, it was about like 6.5, 7 months off from treatment. So then when I started up again, it was being a little bit stubborn. So let me see what other questions I get a lot. I think I went over most of these. Okay, so treatment number 7, the end of this month, I'm going to take a video of it being lasered this time. I'm also going to start having this one removed, and what this measures for my doctor's office specifically is an extra $25 in addition to what I pay for this each time. So I will keep you updated. Stay tuned. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll add them in my next video. Bye, guys.